This is the replacement for the CB500F, the new CB500 Hornet. But has it improved? Is it worth the investment? This is the only video you need to watch to know everything about it. Technical features, performance in the city and on the road, fuel consumption, insurance cost, colors, and price. Of course, in addition to my honest opinion with the pros and cons. I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is the most charming motorcycle channel in Brazil, which also brings you the most comprehensive motorcycle content. So go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. Hey there! The new 500 Hornet isn't a completely new bike. It's actually based on the CB500F, but with some adaptations, such as the design. Here we have an even more compact design than before, with more aggressive lines. The F concept has been replaced by the Hornet, so it has a more street fighter look, mass concentrated at the front, and aggressiveness inspired by a Wasp, bringing more sportiness to everyday life. The design of the CB500 Hornet is in line with its older sister, the 750 Hornet. And here we have the metal tank, plastic fairings to give the front end a more muscular look, and here we have a cleaner rear end. And the cool thing is that it alludes to the Wasp's stinger, so it's really interesting here. It even has some air vents here, which add more aerodynamics and sportiness. Just like the 500F, it still has full LED lighting. However, we have a new headlight set with a new lighting signature, more vertical, more squared, but still with a sporty design. Here we have the turn signals on at all times to let the vehicle in front of you know that it's a motorcycle, right? And besides that, it has an ESS braking system, which works like this. When you brake hard at a certain speed. The electronics understand this and automatically activate the rear turn signals. To let the vehicle behind you know that you've braked suddenly, you don't need to do anything. The electronics do it all. Music taking curves in a sporty way. Asphalt, unlike her sister, let's say, right? Musica's sister. Musica. This is a motorcycle focused on speed and sportiness. You can even take it onto a racetrack. However, if you Musica there carrying a heavy backpack, and my tip is for you to, for example, install the side case rack, right? So you can put the saddlebags, right? Or a side case or even a top case. And these accessories and others to equip your CB500 Hornet you can find at Scam. They have great quality and durability. It is known for accessories for adventure bikes, but not everyone knows that they also have them for different types of motorcycles. For example, for the CB500 Hornet, saddlebag support, side stand, foot enlarger, center stand, anti-spray fender, rear fender, fairing guard, skid plate, hand guard, radiator guard, oil filter guard, reservoir fluid cap guard. Look, license plate reinforcement, side case support, top case support, right? In addition to the saddlebag support, you also have aluminum or molded side cases, which are more affordable, and you also have a top case in aluminum or from the economy line. To get to know the entire Scam line for the CB500 Hornet or for your motorcycle, just click the link in the description or point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen, and that's it. You'll access the Scam website. I'll also leave some products here in the description with the link, and of course some products tagged in the video so you can equip your motorcycle. And the next one, the seat is split level with 2 tiers, so we have a seat here. Okay, here it's generous in width for the rider with a very non-slip texture. Here a handle for you to maneuver the motorcycle and a small seat. Here it's like an ironing board for the passenger, right? It even follows the minimalist design here of the tail. Okay, I'll get on so you can see. But just to mention, the seat is 78.9 centimeters high off the ground. And what's interesting is that the seat has a design here that narrows. Exactly, so you don't have to spread your legs too much, and with that you can place both feet on the ground more easily. Look, I'm 177 centimeters tall and the bike still feels roomy. For me, it's very easy. including here. Look, we have retractable aluminum foot pegs for the passenger and also for the rider. There's no rubber finish, which is expected for this riding position, right? For a street fighter motorcycle, a sport bike, so you have the foot peg set back here. So your legs are at about a 90-degree angle, more or less, and your arm position is more forward here in a sporty, aggressive stance, which is really nice to ride. I'll show you in a moment how it performs, okay? On the highway and also in the city, lane splitting through São Paulo traffic. But in general, your arms stay relaxed here, unlike that tiring position up here, where you're more leaned forward, cafe style. When it comes to your legs, that really depends on you. If you're a tall person, for example, and your legs are very bent, the ideal thing is to do a test ride. You know, so you can see for yourself, but I can already tell you that this type of motorcycle will cause discomfort in your legs, especially on long trips. Around 300, 400 kilometers, you know? In general, it's very good. The tank is designed like this, so you can rest your legs on it, right? And grip the tank here so you can shift your body weight, you know? When you're riding on the racetrack, you can lock your leg in better here and take the corner with your knees skimming the ground. In general, it's a light motorcycle, of course, considering its proportions. We're talking about a 500 here, right? But it's 175 kilos of dry weight. That is not counting the fluids in its fuel tank, which has a capacity of 17.1 liters of gasoline. And here we have, look, regarding the wheels, they're alloy with these spokes here. Very beautiful, right? In a Y shape, really interesting. 17 on both wheels, and they use tubeless tires. We have an anti-lock ABS system on both wheels. And on the front wheel, double disc brakes with a diameter of 296 millimeters, and on the rear, a disc with a diameter of 240 millimeters. And the calipers are from Nissin, the suspensions are from Showa, and on the front, we have an inverted telescopic fork without adjustment. However, it has an SFF system. On one side, we have the spring, right, and on the other side, the hydraulic system. And on the rear, we have ProLink, a single spring, with preload adjustment and a total travel of 119 millimeters music. The dashboard is new compared to the 500F, so we have a 100% digital full-color TFT display. Visually, it's the same as the Hornet 750, but it provides less information. Okay, and it's the same as the NX500 too. Well, we have several pieces of information here. So for example, we have a clock here and here, this exclamation mark. It's saying that the side stand, the kickstand is down, right? Here we have the fuel gauge, the tachometer, speedometer, gear position indicator, and that's it. And here we have the onboard computer information right on the left handlebar, and then we have some information. So here, for example, trip A, the average consumption. Here from trip A, we have trip B. So you can do an analysis, for example, city and highway, right? And here we also have the consumption. Overall, right, and also the average speed. Then we have other information here, like, for example, you can also put here the odometer in kilometers. All this information, guys, you can choose whether it will appear or not. Here in the little wheel are the settings. More about the panel settings, okay? So what is the shift point? Shift light, so you can turn it off. In fact, here it's off, right? And you can choose which RPM you want to set. The gear shift you can choose according to your riding style or even for fuel efficiency. Here it is. This automatic trip reset is for you to reset the odometer, okay? Every time you start the bike, for example. Hiss, that's something cool, you see? It's both here on the dashboard and written here on the bike, right? Here on the key, which is the electronic key system, right? So I recommend you keep it on. Why? If someone makes an identical copy, they won't be able to start the motorcycle. They won't be able to turn the ignition here, precisely because of this electronic function, this chip that's in the key. Okay? It's for security, so keep it on. The screen is called painel in Brazilian Portuguese, right? But in Portuguese, it's écran. So we have different types of screens. So here you have the barra, which is the one it's currently on, and it's the one I like the most. There's the circle and the simple one. I'll pick the circle here as an example. After selecting it, I exit everything. See, it's set. I don't really like this one, but that's just personal preference. You can choose. The simple one is very basic. Let me set it here. Look, you select the simple one, and usually it's just, really just the speedometer. So you can stay focused only on what matters. I'm setting it to bar because I like it. You can also adjust the brightness, automatic or manual, and change the background. I'll choose black. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you prefer the black background or the white background, since there's a lot of glare here, I'm going to set it to white. So you can see the information. Here are the favorites I mentioned to you, right? What information is going to show up here, see? Okay, the green one, which has already been chosen, right? So here, look, there's part 2, right? You can leave it white, and here are the details that will show up here, okay? You can set all of this up. So if you buy a motorcycle, you can spend your weekend tweaking it, you can change it. Okay, all the information is here, favorites, so that's it, okay? Then there's assistance info, maintenance, oops, there's periodic maintenance info, and so on. It notifies you, so that's really cool. And that's it, guys. It's a dashboard that doesn't have connectivity, okay? So you can't connect to your motorcycle's dashboard. We also don't have riding modes like the 750 Hornet, but what do we have, guys? Traction control. I don't know if you could see it here. Look, the little T got crossed out, which means the traction control is off. And then every time you restart the motorcycle, right, it will turn on for safety reasons. So every time it's like this, it means it's on, okay? And here on the outside are some indicator lights. Look, I'll restart so you can see the indicator lights and everything. When you use the turn signal, it also shows up, right? Left turn signal, right turn signal, and that's it. The hazard lights too, if you turn them on, they show up on the screen. This new dashboard is incredibly beautiful, with lots of information. How much does it cost new? I don't know, but it can't be cheap. That's why I say, protect your dashboard. And my tip is for you to use Protel's screen protectors. After all, I'm sure you have a screen protector on your phone. You won't put one on your motorcycle, which costs much more. Protel's screen protectors don't use glue. They use the same electrostatic technology as phone screen protectors. And look, the big kit comes complete. You get everything you need to install it. There are options for different types of motorcycles, and you can choose matte or glossy. Installation is really easy. Just follow the instructions and use the kit that comes in the package. Besides the glossy orange one I installed, Protel has the Ultra HD film version, which protects 40% more than the others, is ultra glossy, and has a thickness of 0.42 millimeters. It's more flexible and thicker, and it protects more, adapting to different types of panels, including the more rounded ones. And if you need to remove the film, it will come off without damaging or leaving any residue. It's really worth it because besides protecting your panel, it increases its resale value, and who knows, you might even be able to sell it above the FIPI price. Don't waste time, it's really worth it, and it's much cheaper than you think. To buy, just click the link in the description or point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen. Directly on Protel's website, you can use my discount code Amanda20 and get a big discount. But if you want to buy from the marketplace, I'll tag it here in the video. You can buy your film not only here for the CB500 Hornet, but also for various types of motorcycles and scooters, including cars. See, it's worth it. At Protel, you can trust them. And unfortunately, it doesn't come with any kind of USB or USB-C port. And here on the left handlebar, we have this button, this 5-way joystick for you to navigate the dashboard. And the cool thing is that it is iluminado, então toda essa parte branca. At night, it lights up. During the day, you won't be able to see it, but it does have lighting. I found it interesting that here is the traction control button, here is the horn, and the turn signals for left and right. And back here, you can turn on the high beam and also flash the high beam. Now here on the right side, we have the ignition button, here the hazard lights, and here the button to cut off the engine power. And the clutch lever doesn't have adjustment, but the brake lever does have reach adjustment. The engine is the well-known one from Honda, the twin cylinder with 471 cubic centimeters, which is already in several models and has been used by Honda for years. However, here for the new CB500 Hornet had to comply with Promote. With that, it lost 0.6 horsepower, so now it delivers 49.6 maximum horsepower. According to Honda, there was a remapping to deliver more power at medium and low revs. The torque is 4.5 kg/Force-meter and it has 6 speeds, 6 gears, and chain final drive. And just like the old one, it still has an assist and slipper clutch. What is this technology? The assisted technology brings more smoothness here. When you squeeze the lever, it really feels like butter. It's so smooth. The slipper technology, on the other hand, prevents the rear wheel from locking up when you make a sudden downshift. Imagine you're in fourth gear, about to enter a turn, and you downshift to second, 3, 2, all the way down. Your rear wheel won't lock up, giving you more stability and safety. And now that I've already shown you everything about the new CB500 Horn, it's time to ride it through the streets of São Paulo and also hit the road. But if you're finding this video super complete and dynamic, how about leaving a like? It helps me a lot and motivates me to make more videos like this. In the end, if you think it was worth watching this video, subscribe to the channel. Now hop on the back with me. And the next one. The only thing that's getting in my way are the mirrors here, but I think we'll get a better sense of it. Anyway, here, look. Look, it's right at the right height, see? The riding position puts you in a forward-leaning stance, so your legs will be bent. There's no way around it. It's got that aggressive, sporty feel, and that's what it conveys. Look, in the city, splitting lanes, I really liked it, you know? Honestly, I really liked it. What stood out to me the most about it was the issue with the rear view mirrors, right? So its mirror sticks out and then I end up losing agility. That's it, but for someone weaving through traffic, if you're not going to split lanes, if you're not going between cars yet, you won't have any problem at all. To keep its sportiness, to bring a little excitement to your life, you have to always keep the revs high then. Hey, don't. Let the revs go up, then you shift gears. That's to bring a little bit of flavor, right? A little spice to your life. But that's it. Here in heavy traffic, it did well. It's pretty agile, and the engine is adequate. I really liked it. Now, there's the issue with the rear view mirror, right? There's no way around it. You have to pay attention. But enough driving around the city. Let's take it out on the highway. Well, the suspensions are firm, right? They're more on the firm side than comfortable. The riding position here isn't tiring me out. Is that okay? But your legs stay bent and the seat is hard, guys. The seat is hard. The seat is hard. Is that okay? Keep that in mind. It's a bike that has power. It's quick at low and medium revs. So twisty roads, winding stretches where you'll be able to take a lot of turns, it's not about top speed. It will perform really well, okay? And the best rev range is right here. Look, 6,000 RPM. You can already feel the bike, see? Yeah, here in fourth gear, it's doing well. You can go higher. So what do I think? I think that for someone who's just starting out with bigger bikes, this is a great entry point. It's balanced, right? I'll tell you guys about the fuel consumption I get with it in a moment, but that's it. Shall we see what top speed it can do here? I think we can do it here, right? 171, 172. I don't think it'll go beyond that, huh? Regarding top speed, but on winding roads, tight curves, they do really well. Because that's where you can really see the engine's power, the torque, the mapping, right? That Honda made. So it ends up fitting really well for most Brazilian roads, and it ends up being fun in that sense. But that's it. Now let's wrap up the video with the pros and cons. But after all, is it worth investing in this new generation? That depends if you want to stay in the Honda family and you're coming from a 250 or a 300. Then this model is worth it, since you'll have a motorcycle with a very sporty, aggressive look that draws attention, but with a milder engine that doesn't scare you as much. Instead, it will help you. It will be your gateway to the big bikes. Now, if you already have an older CB500F, then maybe it's not really worth it, since the engine is the same. And the new dashboard and the looks, I don't think they make that much of a difference. Maybe it's better to go for a 750 or another Honda motorcycle if you still want to stick with the brand or check out the market. And if you're convinced that the CB500 Hornet is for you and you want to take it home, but you don't have the money to pay up front and you think the financing interest rates are too high, how about paying for it, guys? With these promotional installments here.
De R$ 446,21.
No interest and no down payment. It's possible with a consortio plan, and my friend Pablo will help you. Not all consortio plans are the same, you know? Some people complain a lot because they chose the wrong provider, paid the wrong fee, and used the wrong strategy. You have to do it the right way. That's why some people love it and others don't like it because they didn't do it the right way. And Pablo will help you. Whether it's for you to get your 500 Hornet, another Honda motorcycle, or a bike from another brand, a car, or even a property like Mandan is doing. If you don't know, I have a home purchase consortium plan. I'm planning to build my own house and make this dream come true. And now it's your chance. You can start now, in 2026. Don't leave it for later, because those who plan ahead achieve their goals. Contact Pablo now using the link in the description or the QR code on the screen. Reach out now, okay? This is his personal WhatsApp. He will give you all the guidance you need and check your financial situation to come up with the best strategy for you. Take advantage, because a consultant like this isn't cheap in the market, and only my followers have this benefit. Make sure to say you're my follower. To pay this special installment, get in touch now and make your dreams come true. Music. When it comes to consumption, we know that the more you accelerate, the more it's going to use. There's no way around it. And since we're talking about a Hornet, a street fighter, I have to admit I accelerated a lot and kept the revs high. After all, that's the only way we can get a little excitement. With this motorcycle, the revs are always high, sometimes even downshifting. And it got a fuel consumption of about 54 miles per gallon. However, I know there are people who can get about 59 or even more. If you're one of them, comment below. Overall, I found it economical for its category. And what about the insurance? Is the insurance for this Hornet expensive? Well, get insurance, I always say that. It doesn't matter if you have a scooter, an adventure bike, or a custom bike. Get insurance so you don't end up empty-handed. Especially if you're still making those monthly payments, financing the bike, right? The payments won't stop just because some thief took it. At least insurance will give you that financial security. And the cool thing is that, with protection, my followers pay much less for insurance from companies registered with SUSEP. It's not one of those vehicle protection plans. You have the legal guarantee that you will be compensated. How do you get access to the cheapest insurance in Brazil? Just click the link in the description or the QR code on the screen. For example, I was surprised by the insurance quote. For a Hornet? Honda? Anyway, I got an insurance quote here for a 42-year-old male profile. I used the zip code from Mogi das Cruzes, where I live at the moment, okay? And several insurance company options came up. I'll pick the cheapest one here, which only covers theft and robbery. And you get several benefits, like 100% FIP compensation theft and robbery coverage, and 200-kilometer towing assistance. Am I in a tow truck? Seriously, guys, when I didn't have insurance for a vehicle I had, a little scooter, the towing cost was almost the same as the insurance. If I had insurance for theft and robbery, I would have had this benefit. So get a towing quote to see how expensive it can get. And it's always when you need it the most, when you're really strapped for cash, that you get a flat tire or your motorcycle lets you down. And here you have assistance with no deductibles, and that's it. The amount is 2,295 Rs and 25 cents for RR.736. This amount is annual, and you can pay in installments. Look how great, you can even pay in up to 12 installments. Look how interesting. So Amanda, I want a more comprehensive insurance with total loss coverage. I'm not going to total the bike, but if it does, look, you'll be protected. You'll have total loss coverage for collision. And then you'll pay the annual amount of 2,991 reais, almost 3 grand. You'll pay 2,265.64 reais. This amount is annual. With my discount code, you can split it into 12 installments and that's it. You're covered. At least for theft and robbery, and total loss isn't for total loss. For more comprehensive insurance, coverage is available. Get a quote via the link, description, or QR code tailored to your profile. Sometimes you live in a city that's much quieter, much cheaper, and you'll be surprised by the insurance. Seriously, there are followers who pay very little and always come to thank me if you were one of them. Leave your testimonial here in the comments. With Protect Me. And guys, it's super easy. You can even do the inspection online at home on your phone with no bureaucracy. You get the price right away and it's the cheapest in Brazil with Protect Me. Click and you're done. And now I'm going to talk about the positive and negative points of the CB500 Hornet. Remember, Mandinha doesn't claim to know it all, and you have every right to agree, disagree, or even add your own thoughts in the comments, as long as it's respectful. But first you need to subscribe to the channel. Are you subscribed? Alright, now you can comment as much as you want, starting here with the positive points. I think the design is a good thing. I like the Street Fighter design, which is sharp and edgy. I don't like those big, bulky, round headlights. No, I like a bike with a sharp, aggressive look. In that sense, it feels sportier, so for my taste, that's a positive point. Another good thing is its handling, guys. It's really easy to ride, so the handling is really well sorted. Another positive point is how easy it is to ride. So like, oh, but the engine is kind of weak. That's actually a positive point, especially for those who are just starting out with big bikes, because this is a heavy bike, a bike that has almost 50 kilograms of power, so it's not really for beginners. So for those who are moving up, this is a great learning experience, a great entry point, and that's definitely a positive point. It brakes well, that's a positive point for the brakes. It's an economical motorcycle, so for this category, right guys, for this category, it's economical, another positive point. Adding to that, the tank gives you good range. 17 liters is good for this category, so that's another positive point. Another good thing is the hiss system, which is the key immobilizer, and I always say, right, anything that makes things harder for thieves, Mandinha likes it. And even if someone makes an identical copy of the key or uses what they call a michar, right? So they take a tool, like a screwdriver, break the lock cylinder to turn it. The bike won't start, okay? It's not a guarantee that no one will steal it, right? Because they could take it away in a van, but it makes things harder for them, so that's a positive point. The suspensions are a positive point for sportiness. So for you to take corners, for you to ride in a sporty way, okay? It does really well, even though it doesn't have adjustments, but when it comes to comfort, don't expect too much, since its purpose is to be sporty. The dashboard is nice, it's improved, it doesn't have all the information in the world. Hold on, I'll talk about a negative point about it in a moment, okay? In the next topic. But yes, it's a nice dashboard, okay? Considering the previous generations, right? So yeah, I think that's a positive point about the dashboard. It doesn't come with riding modes, but at least it has traction control, which you can turn off. That's a good thing. And to finish, there's Honda Assistance, which has 3 years of coverage, right? Which is the motorcycle's warranty. It's 3 years, and Honda Assistance works like this. It gives you the motorcycle's warranty, not just in Brazil, but also in some Latin American countries. If you took it to Argentina and had a motorcycle problem, Honda would handle it if it was a warranty issue. They will bring you back to Brazil, even to your address, and also bring the motorcycle. So that's a really good thing. Now I'll discuss the negatives, and as I said earlier, there are a few things about the dashboard I didn't like. Right off the bat, it doesn't have connectivity, unlike the version abroad, so that's a negative point. Unfortunately, Honda said so, right? Including at the launch, there's a video here on the channel, I'll leave the link in the description, where I interviewed the folks at Honda and they talked about it. Precisely because of Anatel's approval issues, which would take a long time, so that's why they couldn't release the connectivity package. It might come later, but anyway, since it doesn't have it, that's another negative point, another bad thing in my opinion. But then I think that's a design flaw. It's that there's no range. What is range? Your remaining riding distance. The dashboard even has average speed. Why would I want average speed? I want range information, how far I can go with the gas that's in the tank. That's really good because I can calculate it on the GPS 100 kilometers to the next gas station. I can see if I have enough range for that or not, and if the bike gives me that information, it's even better, right? And another thing, still talking about the cockpit, is that it doesn't have a USB-C or USB port. So we don't have any outlet here in the cockpit. So that's a negative point. Another negative point is the seat. I know that the idea of this type of bike is sportiness. It's not a touring bike. So we know the seat isn't going to be super comfortable. But for people like me and many others who are going to travel, I'm just giving you a heads up. Your butt is going to hurt, okay? Either you change the seat or you go for another bike, or don't complain when you get tired. Up to 100 kilometers at most, okay? Anything more than that, right? There's also the bent leg position, okay? So keep that in mind as well. Now, the one who's really going to complain is the person sitting back here, your passenger. There's a place to hold on here, look, on the handle, right? It's kind of integrated into the fairing here at the back. But don't be fooled, okay? The seat is really bad. The seat is hard, basically only for quick rides like 20-30 kilometers at most. Whoever sits back here really has to be tough, huh? If she can handle it, marry her. And if you're already married, marry her all over again. Because you really have to be tough to sit back here and travel many kilometers. Passengers, speak up right down here if you put up with this. A little seat like this just won't do, for God's sake. It's fine for quick rides, but it's not good for the passenger. It doesn't turn much, so that's a negative point. I'll show you here. Look, can you see here? Look, it's steering stop. Some people don't really care, okay? And some people get used to it. I don't think anyone would not buy it because of that, okay? But be careful when you're maneuvering. You don't have much range. When you turn or try to make a maneuver, you could fall if you don't pay attention to this, okay? Because it doesn't turn much. But honestly, what bothered me the most up here in the front wasn't even that it doesn't turn much, okay? It was the issue with the rear view mirror. As you saw on the camera, while riding, the handlebars are wide. But I think the handlebars are okay, all right? They're wide, but that's not what bothered me. What really bothered me were the rear view mirrors. It makes you want to raise them up a bit or do something because they're right at the height of the cars. Besides that, it goes through, look, it goes through just fine, right? So it stays here, goes through everything just like that. And what happens? You can see a lot goes through here. And because of that, you don't have much agility in traffic. The engine is good, the weight is great, and the handling is great too. But what happens is that the front end gets hung up a bit, so be careful not to hit the car's mirrors. And the last downside, but not least, is the price, which keeps us simple mortals from being able to take it home. And it's available in 3 colors, with a suggested retail price starting at 43,040 Rs. And for you to take home your CB500 Hornet with better service, better terms, and they accept your trade-in. You can use it toward payment with financing, consortium plans, and more, plus units available for test rides. My tip is for you to stop by one of the 32 Gepalto Group stores. They're spread out across São Paulo, Greater São Paulo, Campinas, the countryside, Eurofavel. So many stores with the best service in Brazil. Get in touch with Gepalto and you'll make a serious deal. Don't close your Honda purchase without talking to Gepalto first. I'll leave the addresses here in the description of this video. The WhatsApp phone number is on the screen, so go ahead and scan the QR code. Talk to them. Say you saw it here on the channel and that you can get great deals. If you want to get your Honda or your 500 Hornet, now is the time. Contact them now and make your deal like this. That's it. If you enjoyed the video, like and share it with friends. There are more pros and cons. Share your feedback. Leave a comment below to help other motorcyclists. Remember, there's a complete video here for you about an amazing motorcycle. Watch it here. And down below, I left another video for you. Subscribe to the channel, and if you can help me even more, become a member to get exclusive benefits and help Mandinha keep going. With the Motoplay channel, let's reach the milestone of 1 million subscribers and motorcycle lovers. See you next time. Kisses.